Are we live? We're live. I'm sorry, it's not showing live on my end. It's still going in circles. Hi, everybody. Hi, everybody. I missed each and every one of you guys. I was out of state because my daughter had her graduation. Again, congratulations to Desiree. You graduated with 7 cores and honors since pre-K. Mother is super proud of you. I really am. I really am, Desiree. Um, for some reason, it's not showing live on my end, guys. Is
It's
it
showing
live?
live on.
Okay. So how is everybody? Okay, so okay. Let me get back on track here because we were talking before we aired. So okay, I have Anna Granville here today. Anna will talk about why she's here, but I really need lunchtime with Anna, aka Ana Quiñones, is asking for everybody in the Cordele area to support Anna Granville, and you'll understand why once she says why. Then, of course, with health and wellness, we have Dr. Inky. I know everybody. Dr. Inky, I want to tell you something. I have friends from where I grew up at in Florida, right? And I forwarded a few of my friends one of our interviews, right? You know what they said to me?
What?
Man, I ain't seen Dr. Inky in a while. I've been following him for a minute, and I'm so glad you're interviewing him, Anna. I was like, now that's what's up. They know who he is, so big ups to you. Big ups to you. Anna, and she's got a beautiful name, guys. I'm a little biased.
Understood.
No, um, the microphone sound like high.
It sounds high. Mine. Okay. Is it better now?
I guess a little bit.
Let me see. Interesting. It's it's on minimum now. Is it better?
Yeah, it sound a little better.
Okay. So, Anna, I have a very loud voice, anyways. And Dr. Inky, you should know that because you had a Boricua ex, so you know we loud by nature.
Yes.
But let me tell you. So, Anna, introduce yourself. Why are you here? Why am I? And guys, Anna and I will be collaborating on some things through my human justice side as well that I'm really looking forward to, especially if you guys get out there and do what she's going to ask you to do. Go ahead. I leave you the floor, Miss Anna.
Good afternoon. Good afternoon. How are y'all? Um,
I'm
I
good.
am I am currently here through a mutual friend of mine and Anna.
Yes.
He's my cousin, but
Yes.
he said that he knew he's from Cordele, my hometown, and he knows the struggles of Cordele when it comes to politics and us just trying to be proactive as Black people and have a say in how things happen. Right now, currently, I'm running for the school board, Chris County, District 3 seat, and I felt led to run because my daughter had some issues within the school system, and they tried to expel her, pending a tribunal, and I followed it. I fought it up the chain, and gracefully we got it overturned. The seats became available, and so here I am running because I felt led to run. Because when I posted it on my Facebook page, a lot of parents hit my inbox and was stating that they too were going through the same thing about their child committing a simple offense and the school system kicking them out. Like, no stop, go straight to jail. And so,
Mhm.
like I said, it's not fair, and we need more people on the board to represent us. Currently, we have an all-white board, and I don't like to talk white and black, but the reality is it's white and black. Currently, we have an all-white board, and I think I'm sure the makeup of the school is like 70% black, so there's no black representation on the board, and that was another reason why I felt led to run for my positioning on the school board. Uh, I have a runoff coming up on June 21st, and I need people to come out and support and get people to the polls. It's really hard to get the younger crowd to the polls. The older people generally go out and vote We don't have any issues with the older crowd coming out to vote, but the young crowd don't think it's too important, and we definitely need to change their mindset. They have they have issues. They're aware of their issues, but when it comes to being proactive and doing something about their issues, especially when it comes to voting, they never show up to the polls. So I'm here to change that thought process also as well.
Absolutely. So I have a question, Anna. How, because you mentioned um, you guys are going on for a runoff, right?
Correct.
So how close was it? Was it close, close, or
Number
if you,
wise, I had 171. He had 168. And I
very
beat
close
him in
then?
numbers.
Yes.
But when it comes down to percentages,
Yeah.
according to voter registration and all that
Mhm.
good stuff,
Mhm.
the
Mhm.
percentage was 46.98, I think, and he probably had 46.15. So because I didn't beat him with 50% plus
Yeah.
one, we have to
Absolutely.
have a runoff.
Absolutely.
So it's
Um,
very close.
yes, that is very, very close. So what? Okay, what can lunchtime with Anna do? What can my platform do to get you in office? What can I do as a bilingual to help get you into office? What and if you could go back, if you don't mind, with what exactly took place with your daughter as well, and what you were able to either overcome or not overcome because of who was there in office and why you have this passion for, the position you're running off for.
Okay. I am. I've been previously. I was in law enforcement for a law enforcement capacity for 16 years. So I'm
Okay,
always in the. I've always been in the business of serving people.
absolutely.
Uh, I currently work with waste management. Waste
Okay,
management. I do have my LPN state
okay,
certification, so I will
okay,
be practicing nursing at some point. Still serving
okay,
people. Uh,
okay.
And like I said, I have a daughter. I have two kids that's still in high school. Two that has already graduated, and my daughter is an upcoming senior this year. Well,
Mhm,
they there was this trend of kids having keychains, purchasing keychains from a young guy in the community. The keychain consisted of a puff ball, a window breaker, and some pepper spray. Well,
mhm,
me not thinking twice about it because my daughter worked, and
mhm,
so she get off late at night. Cool, fine and dandy. She got pepper spray. Not thinking, oh, Billy, don't take the pepper spray to school because it's considered a weapon. She just
mhm,
usually walked around with her keys like she normally do. Well, on one day, she left her keys in the locker room. They were turned in to administration, and administration immediately wanted to suspend her pending a tribunal with the reference to the alternative school. This is her
mm.
senior year. She's a AB student. She's on the flag
Wow.
team. She's in JRTC. She had just recently told her instructor about a fight that was happening down the hallway, so he
Mm.
was able to go and prevent that. Just never been in trouble, and so we wasn't we wasn't uh, upholding her saying that she didn't break the rule. We understood that, but
Absolutely.
we were asking for a lesser punishment, being that she was the child that she was. Just
Mhm.
consider her as a student because we know, depending on who you are considered. Like
Absolutely.
you have football players that get in trouble all the time or
Yep.
do things where they should get in trouble and they don't. They're overlooked because they're
Yep.
star players.
Absolutely.
Not to say that it's fair, um, or to use that as an excuse, but they should consider each and every student. Is my take on it. And
Absolutely.
like I said, so they suspended her for 10 days. This was a week before Thanksgiving. They suspended her for 10 days. She was out a week. Thanksgiving happened, so that week didn't count. I tried to make contact with the principal. I made contact with the assistant superintendent. He recommended that I asked her if she could just go to the alternative school for the remainder of that school semester, which would have been like 3 weeks. The,
Mhm.
the assistant principal denied. She was like, no, that's not long enough. So I knew I had to kind of settle in because this was gonna be a ride we was gonna have to take. So, like I said, that school is all that my daughter has. That's her outlet, and so I wasn't going to allow them to just kick her out without going through all the necessary steps. And so I went through a tribunal, and I'm not sure if everybody knows how a tribunal works. Well, here in Cordele, they allow one principal to sit on as the tribunal hearing officer of one school, and in return, they do the same, which is kind of biased because you get nowhere. Okay, so that principal is going to stick up for that principal. Exactly. Like, okay, this is not working for me. So that was another issue that I definitely want to address once securing my seat. But we went through the tribunal process, and he still sided with her. So our next step was to take it to the school board, and I went and talked to some guys that I knew that's attached to the NAACP, and they were working with me behind the scenes. So once the school board did get the hearing and the transcript and everything, they overturned the principal's consequences or the principal's punishment, and they allowed her to return back to school when school came back in January. And now she's an upcoming senior. She made the cheer squad and the flag squad. Thank you.
Congratulations.
Yeah. So
I would
I was
love to
really
go to her senior graduation if you guys have an extra ticket, just because sometimes bad things happen to good kids, right?
right.
I love children. I love children, and I'm a firm believer that, it could have been that pivotal situation if you as mom, and I'm that mom like you, if you as mom would have not taken that extra step, her life could have just very easily been turned a whole different way. This
Exactly.
can equal drugs, drug addiction. This can equal jail time, mental issues, all
Mm-hmm.
kinds of stuff. And I read a book, and I always tell everybody to read it. It's called Punished. And this book teaches us, it's actually talking about our brown and our black men. And, it's, again, I love everybody, right? But this specifies towards them, because when you mention a full white school board, it's that type of thing that if they wanted to, and if you weren't as persistent as you are, any other parent, they probably would have kicked her out. And that's
Exactly.
the truth.
Right. And
That's
that
the
has
truth.
happened. Like, we have some kids that have offended for whatever reasons, and it not have been as major, and they have kicked them out, and
See what I
the
mean?
moms just settled for alternative schools.
Yeah.
But that would I don't think that should not have happened that way. They should have had someone that they could go to, and they
Absolutely.
take them properly through the steps to
Absolutely.
understand the whole entire situation and
Absolutely.
go from there. And currently, we don't have that in Cordele. So that's my place. That's my position.
So now to the second part of my question. What can we all do besides everybody making sure that they get to the polls? And, I wish I was closer there to Cordele, but I can promise you this. If you need me, I can travel to you specifically for these elections. If I can target the Latinos, I'm down for that. I can help you translate whatever you need and tell them why you need to be in office, because as women, right? Strong
Right.
women, we need to stick together, and I'm all for that. So what can we do besides, what can the community do? Dr. Inky wants to talk. I could see him. He's ready. He's ready to talk. Go
hit
ahead.
The share screen. Hit the share screen.
The share screen. Share. Hang on.
You see that box right there at the bottom?
I'm on a different device today, so hang on.
Because we actually are having an event surrounding this and other topics coming up. So it's crazy that I came on today, and this is the conversation, because we were just having a conversation over the weekend, and the conversation got heated. And
you can't share from your end. It's not even giving me the option over here.
Yeah, you probably.
I'm on a different device today than I normally air from.
Yeah,
Why
I'm
did
about
I
to
do
say.
that?
But I guess while she's working on it. But so we were having these conversations over the weekend because of, I mean, you got the mass shootings, then you
Right.
then you've got the graduation shootings. All
Right.
of the graduations are now getting shot up across the country. Like it's insane just watching the numbers roll in. 2 shot here, 3 shot here, 5 shot there, 6 shot there, 1 shot there. Or the graduations where no shots rang out. They got a couple of them where they left on stretchers, and because people were hitting each other with chairs, and like it got. So the drill culture is everywhere. The drill culture is everywhere, and so there's a huge conversation where dietary health, mental health, and how we socialize intersect. And what's happening is, I think, my opinion, you know what I'm saying? I think that there are a lot of children that are getting caught up because of what else is also going on, which is one of the reasons, as a parent of 10, which is one of the reasons why I'm so aggressive with some of these things that's going on, because whenever kids get shot, people go online and, oh, we've got to stop this and that and the other. We got to stop the gun violence and, put the guns down and all this other baloney. And then the next moment they turn it around and, oh man, we've got to free, Young Thug and Gunner because the big bad white man is targeting the black man, and no. You can't be a cake and eat it too. Either you want to lock up the people that's creating this atmosphere, or you want to keep letting your kids get shot or unnecessarily targeted, because one of the problems that I feel like we have with policing is not necessarily racial, but it comes across as racial. And a lot of times, because I know some of them, a lot of these white officers, they come from suburban neighborhoods where they never even had a fight in grade school. Not one time. They never even had a fight their whole life. They come to police in the Bronx. They come to police in Detroit. They come to police. Like, by the time you in elementary school, you done probably been exposed to either watching a knife fight or a razor fight or shooting. Like, so we carry ourselves in a way where even if me and my homeboys are arguing about LeBron versus Jordan, like that's a thing that happens, especially, you know what I'm saying? Maybe it's a 6-pack there, or maybe some drinks, or what? You crazy? You don't even know. Like, it get crazy. Now, if you're not from that culture,
you don't understand that.
And wherever you are from, it's hyper peaceful, and you've never had a fist fight, like when you get around that, you already reaching for something. Your gun, your taser, you reaching for something because you're frightened, you're scared. And in that second, you're not thinking about no justice. Like, we got to stop this foolishness where we create this hyper fake universe in our own minds, and then we try to. No, they're not thinking about no justice. What is happening at that moment is that officer's thinking about making it home. He's scared. Period. So if somebody sneak up and say, "Boo, bang," he shot already. He didn't even. Because we have a certain type of way we express ourselves with our hands, we laugh. And now when you add in the music, and you add in the movies, and you add in people's idea, because I've been out for the last 3-4 months having this conversation. Oh, well, that's a part of Black culture. And I'm like, no, that's not a part of Black culture. Fast food is not Black culture. Being illiterate and a dropout is not Black culture. Having your gun and busting your gat and keeping it real with your Draco, my guy, is not Black culture. And when you state that, especially publicly, especially artists that people look at, you create a dynamic where you're also telling other folks that's not from that quote unquote culture that you're a bunch of killers and murderers, and that's what you do. So you keep the fear and the stereotype going. So now kid gets stopped on the corner. This might be a straight A student, but maybe he's listening to whatever he listened to. He got his outfit on or whatever. Because again, the quote unquote culture is killers and drug dealers. So, you got to look like a killer and drug dealer, even if you're a straight A student. You got to look like a killer and drug dealer, even if you're a cop. Even in the clubs now, this is how crazy it is. When you go to the clubs, the chain, the popping the bottles, you're like, wait, ain't that such and such from the 4-2? Ain't that such and such from the 3-7? Like, police look like you can't even. So we gotta work through this with education. So that's what I'm saying. Like, there's a whole mess that we trying to unravel in the conversation is called Future America. And I guess people can sign up. Go to tuconservative.com, tuconservative.com. We got like some big shots, some big wigs, politicians in the education universe and the state boards and national boards. And, like we got some folks that's, what I'm saying, that's in that universe. And we're creating this forum for people to be able to say, you know what? Hell no, this is BS. Or, you know what? We need to do it like this, and we totally agree. Or just to be heard and be heard by those other people that may have the ability to put some legislation into motion. And, because we get a little crazy online, but it doesn't translate anywhere. We're not going downtown to town hall. We're not doing our local, we do local votes. We just do local complaints. Like we do local, national, international, digital complaining, but we don't do any actual, reformative steps. So
I honestly, and this is just my opinion, right? And so I don't believe. Okay, and it might not be popular. Okay, if you weren't raised where the rest of us were raised at, right? Regardless where that is, right? And you don't understand, and you're that nervous, you don't need to be patrolling our area.
Right.
It needs to be us patrolling our area. You know what I'm saying? And that's why with Anna, it kind of goes. I'm gonna connect this, Anna. I'm gonna connect this.
I got you.
Yeah, that's why I like it. That's why I've been doing this forever. So that's why with Anna, right? She grew up there. She knows that there. Her kids grew up there. Is that safe to say?
That's
Did
correct.
I hear you say that?
Yes.
So guess what? She's got a love and a passion for that 70% of the children that are of color. Now, do you see where this can all connect? And see, I'm not saying that you can't do the job. I'm just saying if I understand it like Anna understands it, guess what? I'm going to have more love for those children. I'm not going to be so quick to say, get out and go to what do you call
Alternative school.
Alternative school. Because that's one leg out. Do you know how humiliating that is for a child?
Very.
I deal with disability. A lot of times, they'll put them on 504s. Oh, you're too hyper, this and that and that. If you don't put them on a 504, then I'm going to kick them out of school, or they need to go on special ed. Right? Yes. What's up, Andre? What's up?
It's not only humiliating, but what happens is when it's almost like a very low level halfway house or prison. So
there you go.
Right.
So
there you go. That's my point.
Those spaces, they can be, they might be violated, they might be bullied. Or they might actually, by influence, start to adopt some of the actual behavior patterns that they put there to get rid of. Because they surround it with kids that's like, by the time you get the vicious circle, kids already did 3, 4, 5 years in jail. You know what I'm saying? Like, this is just the reality. They done been at 600 schools. They done been to juvie a few times. So now you done took my kid because she done made a simple mistake and sat her in between somebody with 3 years and somebody with 4, 5 years. Like that's a whole, and then their experience level, these kids that goes through that, they might be 15, 16, but their mind is already 23, 24, 25.
Right.
I don't need my child sitting there because she got into an argument with her buddy about whatever, and they had a little fight. Like that's not it. You know what I'm saying? Like, yeah. So, yeah. Yeah.
It's true. It's true. But at the same time, Dr. Inky, even those kids that have been in alternative school, I always feel that there was something that triggered that in between. Like what happened to her daughter, her 11th grade year, might have happened to another kid, their 1st grade year, and now they're in the system. And it's a vicious circle. And that's why it starts then, and then what follows is prison. And I'm trying, that's why I support Anna. And I'll do anything. Anna, whatever you need from this Anna, I'm there. I'm there because for me, it's about stopping it at the youth, right? For me, it's about helping them so that I'm not having to take cases through my human justice organization and being like, look, Anna, this is my situation. Can you please help me? And I'm scrambling, trying to talk to politicians and whoever I can talk with to see what we can do to help inmates and so forth, so on, who are wrongfully in there. I just told Anna about a case last night that she was like, what? I was like, yes. This really happened. I really have this client. So it's this kind of stuff that we deal with, right? So I wanted to see, okay, first of all, what can we do besides, like I said, you just say a word, I'm there bilingual. Okay, Spanish and English, I don't even know some sign language because everybody knows I got a special needs son. So I'll kick it every possible way for y'all, okay? What else can the community do to get there? Do you need to do transportation? What do you need from us?
Yeah, well, see, currently our issue is just getting people to the polls. Like,
okay,
I'm active on social media. It's always shared. I have signs up, but when it comes time to go vote, they will not go vote. So we have to literally knock on doors. We will knock on doors and say, hey, you got your license? Are you registered? Come on, let me take you to the polls.
That's right.
That's where we are now.
Okay.
And it's sad that we have to do that because, but that's another story for another time. That's
Absolutely.
where we are. So that is what we have to do until we can get them educated enough to know and understand the power of their vote.
Of every single election. Guys, it's it's not just the big
every
election.
Right.
Every single election, especially these runoffs, are so pivotal, so critical. You have to go. You have to go. I know it takes your time. Do an absentee ballot. Man, I'll always...
Yes.
Go ahead.
No, I was saying, yes, absentee ballots work also.
Absolutely. Whatever you guys got to do, get there. Get there. They've made it harder because of the Stacey Abrams situation last time. The whole nation's aware, the whole world, right? So they made it harder for us. Get there. Get there. Get there. Do it so that you're able to, Anna's able to say, I can defend that 70%. I will not stand with the group. I stand in solitaire. I stand alone. I am a leader, not a follower.
Right.
And I'm really big on that. So, okay, transportation. I will be there. I promise you I will be there on the 21st. Okay. The kids are on summer break, so it works out. You just send me an address. You have my personal contact information off air. You send me an address. Is there anything else that you want to add that you would like to? Yes, we need a carpool away, left and right. Pay Ubers. Anybody who's got extra money, pay Ubers for people.
We are so small, y'all. Let me tell you how small Cordial is. Nobody Ubers in Cordial.
Nobody Ubers?
No.
Oh, wow.
At one point, I think I was the only certified Uber or Lyft person in Cordial, and I worked part-time while I was in nursing school at a hotel. So if somebody coming in town that was used to Ubering and Lyfting, they were like, do y'all have Uber or Lyft? Well, that would be me, but I'm at work already.
I'm the only one.
So, yeah. So that's how small Cordial is. We still operate off
I
of
love it.
taxis. Yeah,
Okay.
but hey, it's not big either. Cordial is not big, so it should
So,
definitely make it a little easier, like where we're not talking getting thousands of people to the polls. Uh,
mhm,
like I said, I had 171, he had 168. We can
that's
win
very
it. We
close.
won elections with 300 votes, 500 votes. So it's not a lot,
Mhm.
but we do have
Absolutely.
registered 30, we have a registered 31 people, 3,100 people in my district. And
Okay.
we only had roughly three something to come out and vote. So those are the numbers that we're working with. Like I said, we just got to get them to the polls.
Um, I'll go there and I'll work with the Latino community. Being bilingual, that might help. I'm
Okay.
sure, they usually, from what I've seen in Georgia, right, like to have their areas where they're at. Well, us
Right.
Latinos, yeah, we like. Well, Dr. Inky, on the weekends, you know how that we like to get together. We like to get together.
It's true.
I'll just leave it at that. We have a good time. We have a good time. So, is there anything else that you'd like to add to that, Anna? Is there anything else that we can do besides share, besides air this, besides, get other people to interview you and continue putting the word out? Anything else that we can do?
No, I think that basically covers it. I
Okay.
am using all outlets that I know
Okay.
locally, and like I said, I was introduced to the platforms, yours and Mochi's, which I'm grateful for. So, hey, I'm
Yes.
here, and I can help going forward on anything else. I'm available, um,
Thank you.
and that's where we are. We just got to drag them out to the
Absolutely. And you
polls.
know what? Kind of my support. Like I said, and in both instances, like, if you guys tell me where to go, I don't mind. I'll pull up. They'll probably be like, "What's this weird Latina doing knocking on my door?" I'll be like, "We're gonna go vote. Come on, we're gonna go vote. We're gonna go do this. We're gonna go change. We're gonna make change because that's what it's about, right?" We can't make change. And guys, this is for everybody. You can't make change if you're not trying to make change, right? Trying to make change does not mean share a post and that's it. It's actually going out there, getting your hands dirty and doing the work. You guys
Hmm.
don't know how hard I work off air for clients, for whoever, for family, inmates that need to be transferred from one prison to another because they're about to get stabbed. I'm like, and we're trying to save a life. And it's these kind of little things. Make a difference. Make a difference in this world. If you don't, and you can go to bed and say, I didn't do anything, you didn't do your job. And she's trying to do her job. She's trying to live life and help many out there, many children.
That's
I'm
right.
all for anybody who loves the kids. I'm all for that. Yes, you got it. Boots on the ground. He got it.
Only
And that's
way.
exactly what it is. Put them boots on the ground.
Yes.
Get your hands dirty and do that. Is there are you guys taking donations? Is there anything that you're doing, Anna, that we can get from you can go ahead and air on here and maybe it will help with whatever your cause is, or are
Uh,
they not doing any of that?
Currently, yes, I do have my cash app, my personal cash app that I use if somebody
Okay.
like to donate. I guess I got to get out of the habit of not wanting to ask anybody and trying to do it
You
all on my
have
own.
to in this
Yeah,
situation. You have to.
right. And so that just helps purchase signs and banners and keep my name out there
Absolutely.
physically so that people can see it. But my cash app is Superwoman80, and the S is spelled with a dollar sign. So
Okay.
that's Superwoman80. That's the year I was born. Yeah, I'm 41. But Superwoman
Girl,
80
you
dollar
29.
sign. And that currently that's the only monetary outlet that I deal with. I closed my PayPal down because it got hacked, and I just didn't even bother to open it back up. But I'm on Facebook, Anna Elizabeth Granville. My telephone number, my address, if someone wants to reach out to me and offer their assistance on helping in any way. I'm on Instagram under Superwoman_Anna. Um, yeah, and that's all that I have.
Okay, and Anna, up and coming until the elections, anytime you want to, you are free to come into my platform. You know, we have different things that we air. We air anything from Bible study to the Word on Sunday to Meeting of the Minds on Monday. You know, we have things going on all week long. Anytime you want, you just text me and you say, Anna, I want to come on tomorrow, and you'll be here tomorrow, okay? Like
Okay.
that, this platform is open for you. We are here to help you. We're here to get the word out. And like I said, you can count on my support. I will be there extra early. I might arrive into town the day before to see if we can make sure that we can get people into office, get a room or whatever, and, you know, stay in a room so that I'm
Okay.
not in anybody's way. So with that being said, I have really enjoyed you. I have really enjoyed you. I would appreciate if you could, I know you're working or whatever, but if you do have a Bluetooth, if you can listen to Dr. Inky and the health advice he has to give, because it's going to be good.
Yes,
Every
I
week
do.
it's
I
good.
plan on staying on. Yes,
Okay,
to
good.
listen.
Awesome,
Yeah.
awesome, awesome. I appreciate it. I appreciate it. Yes. Thank you, Mr. Charles. That's what I was trying to say. If we have any other volunteers besides Anna, let's start with Anna. Mr. Charles, shout out Mr. Charles. That's one of my fellow activist buddies. That's my friend. That's my homie. I love him and
My
his wife.
cousin.
Her cousin. So if y'all like them, y'all like him, y'all like her, so that kind of thing. But anyway, just if there's any volunteers that are willing to come and help, even carpool or whatever it is, contact Mr. Charles or contact Anna, because that's the way we can all get together and collaborate and maybe hit up different parts of the town to make
Right.
sure we get her into office, because I like being a part of change. I like being a part of history. I like being there and my face just being like, I don't have to be in camera or nothing, but just being like, y'all, we did that.
Yes, exactly.
And then that's that. So, but yeah, whatever, we must stand together. We must give these young people a chance. Yes,
Yes.
Mr. Charles, why didn't you come on today? You know, he's always on point. He's always on point. Dr. Inky, I know you're liking this today, and I'm so sorry. I'm on a different device, and it's not letting me share my screen. I don't know if you can do it from your end, but if you
Oh,
can't,
this,
I apologize. I'm not on a laptop today. I'm on a different device. Um, so my question to you is, what is, okay, Christy's going to be on her way so she could share screen for you in a little while. My question to you is, what are we going to talk about today?
today we're going to start up the 40-day fast, and that's going to run all the way into July.
Okay.
Yeah, it's a really relaxed version of the 40-day fast that we've been doing like the last maybe 10 years. It's
Okay.
but this one is going to be more like a victory lap, so to speak.
Okay.
Normally, when we do the fast, there's a food list of foods that you can't eat. There's a food list of foods that you should eat.
Okay.
There's a laundry list of supplementation that you should take.
Okay.
And but this go round is going to be really, really different. It's only going to have 4 key points. I'm trying to think because I wanted to put that up on the screen as well. But we got 4 basic key points that we're going to be using daily to change our metabolism,
Okay.
clean out the excess, blood sugar, and then basically begin to start to reduce the fat and change the way our body functions all by itself. So there's a few little I think sis is trying to log out. You might want to just
Oh, she's trying to log out. Okay. Okay.
No, I wasn't trying to log out. I wanted to stay on so I can listen, but I was trying to change my camera so that, yeah, it's fine.
I can keep you on without you having to really be on the screen if you want to do that.
Okay,
Yeah.
that's fine. That's fine too.
Okay. Okay. So
And I appreciate y'all.
no, that's fine.
We appreciate you.
We sure do. Okay, now I put her solo. Hang on. All right. Okay, go ahead. There we go.
So, oh, yeah, I could just use my board. I can just use my board.
We might have to get a little bit closer because if they're blind like me, you know, I use bifocals.
Well, we can, I guess we can people can write stuff down and we could take some notes.
Okay.
Um,
So you said that this 40-day fast is going to be different. And I'm excited about this because I'm doing a boost on my body, and this comes at a perfect time. So when does it start? It technically started today, but we can start tomorrow. Is that okay?
of course, people do this because I wrote a book, because it's in my book, Eat Right for Your Haplotype. People are actually doing a 40-day fast all the time. And then a couple of people, like I know one of the big radio stations in New York, they stole it and started calling it a 40-day reset. And, you know, there's a lot of places where, I don't know, it gets crazy. People don't do the right thing. They don't do the right thing. It's just what it is. But people do it all the time. You know, a lot of people that have the book, they do it with their job and stuff like that. So the 4 things that we're going to work on now, people have seen me kind of transforming my body this year without really doing any workouts. So they're like, okay, we want those exact results.
Okay.
I consume a lot of a special sea moss gel that I make.
Okay.
Right? And so a lot of times people get disappointed because we have this do-it-yourself kind of thing in our brain. So we feel like if we buy sea moss gel from our neighborhood person, or we get it from this guy or that guy, or we make it ourselves in the house,
it's the real deal.
It's the same. It's not the same, because I don't just take sea moss and blend it up. I harvest the sea moss myself from the ocean with my children. That's number 1. So I know how many people's hands touch it. I know what strain of algae, blah, 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 blah. But then from there, it's taken care of in a certain way so that the 3 major pigment families remain intact, so much so that my sea moss gel is like a unique blue-green blend that matches the ocean. And then I use a lichen to add into it for vitamin D. Vitamin D. And then
super
I have
important.
about 27 herbs that I use from Dr. Sebi's list. And then I also have Mama Tonics and a few other things that's just proprietary. So it's not like, I call it a conscious caviar. Like this is like the Lamborghini of, you know. But anyway, so you can get that at drinky.com. And we now have a safety feature on the website. So when you go to the checkout page, you have to refresh the checkout page before you can fully. Okay, and we're back. You there, Anna? Okay, Anna might be frozen. Hopefully y'all can still hear me.
Okay, I wasn't sure if that was me or if that was you that lost signal. Let me ask you a question, Dr. Inky, because Anna, is very interested in in getting in getting sea moss because I am guilty of making it on my own. And I do take sea moss, and I was taking it before it was popular, before it was a thing for everybody, right? Being from the Caribbean, well,
Of course.
Dr. Inky's from Haiti, so you do know that we take things like this, and it is natural for us, right? So this is my question to you. If you may tell me, without me looking online or whatever, what is the price so what is it, like a jar container?
Yeah, I
In
think
glass.
sale. Their regular price is like $60, I think maybe. But I think they're on sale for like $30, $40, something like that. And then I
Okay.
some 2 for deals and but
Okay. And um so how often do you take that?
Oh, I take
Okay.
it every day. But I was gonna say I don't want people to think that whatever brand of sea moss or I can't say whatever, but most algae are good for you. It's just this one was because I've been drinking sea moss since I was a kid. One of my mom's friends,
Yeah.
him and his brother, like they used to be the neighborhood guys. So it would always be like 6 or 7 Jamaicans with dreads on the floor. These guys would have their dreads in their pockets and all that, just so that they don't back on the floor in the kitchen, blending up sea
That's
moss
right.
with whatever they could put in the blender, and then cooking up a bunch of craziness on the stove, blend up, cook up, and ting. Yeah. So, but over years, I had learned so many different facets about the algae and phycology.
Absolutely.
That I learned that the most powerful aspect, well, 2. A is the pigments that are naturally there, which most people allow to die in the harvesting process. So that's why the sea moss a lot of times is yellow. When sea moss doesn't grow yellow, it grows blue, it grows red, it grows purple.
Yep.
But you don't have you got greens, you know what I'm saying? But you don't have a natural yellow. Yellow means that the air has been destroying the pigment. And once you start doing that, you're messing with the fiber, you're messing with the mineral content. So that's that. Then also I learned that the different algae, because I thought sea moss was sea moss. I'm like, man, I got the sea moss. You know what I'm saying? But so there's different algae. There's like a whole universe of algae, and they all have different types of minerals. There's not one sea moss that has 99. That's not a real thing. All of the different algae have different concentrations of minerals, vitamins, pigments, and then on top of that, they have different starches. And the starch is actually what makes them turn into gel. And you primarily want to do that with heat and just some other things. So I learned a lot of stuff about it, and over time, I've been able to kind of like tailor it. But we consume it every day, all day in a variety. Oh my God, it is raining. So it's that crazy rain where you can't even see through it happening outside right now.
That's the best rain to take a nap in.
That's that sleep. That's that
I'm
sleep.
just saying.
Or something else. Right. Or something else. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
You know what though?
This is the G-rated version.
Let me tell you what my grandmother told me.
G-rated version.
Hey, we're gonna keep this PG-rated. You know what I'm saying?
I was 8, and it was raining. And I said, "Mommy, it's raining outside." She said, "Oh, let's bake a cake." And she baked a cake with a heart. It was a heart. It was a heart pan, and she'll bake a cake with a heart. And she had one of them carports that was made of the aluminum, like that aluminum. So when you hear the rain, and you actually hear it coming down.
I got one.
And so we was up under there, and I say, "Mommy, why we bake cake whenever it rains?" She said, "Baby, because when it rains, somebody always puts something in the oven, and it bakes for a little while, and it come out with a little heart." And I was like, "Oh, that's so cute," because I was 8. So then as I got older, I was like, "Oh, That's what she was talking about. Some get put in the oven when it's raining outside. So you got to make sure you be careful and grease the
pan. Florida is famous. Guys, let me tell you guys. Hurricane season, 9 months later, there's always a million babies that are being born. I'm just saying.
Hey, pandemic. There's a lot of pandemic babies out there. You know what I'm saying?
Yes, pandemic too.
Quarantine babies.
Are you friend?
To go back to your question, we consume it in a variety of ways. So
yeah,
of course you can put some in your drink and make you a smoothie. But we put it in our food.
Yeah.
So we drop it in oatmeal in the morning for breakfast. If we make rice.
Yes.
See, don't you dare make your face like that. This is the problem right there. See, you got too much sugar in your food. So you put it in the oatmeal, you can put it in your rice, you put it in your soup, you put it in your sauce.
So what does it taste like?
It tastes like ocean. I mean, you're gonna have to
no, I'm just saying like
it's a taste that's acquired. You have to acquire the taste.
This is the strongest sea moss that you've ever smelled in your life, which means there's also gonna have an equally strong taste. So that's one thing about algae. The stronger the smell, the stronger the nutritional value.
Wow.
So a lot of times that's another reason why they sell the yellow as opposed to the darker colors, because the yellow is more palatable. It has less of a smell and it has less of a strong taste. So people like it. They just don't know that with the lesser smell and lesser taste, you're getting lesser nutrients.
There you go.
And then so
it's almost like it's concentrated. That's what he's trying to say. It's almost, you want concentrated, and you have to acquire the taste. Yeah, it's like almond milk. You have to acquire it.
Yeah, and
I never had it before, so I didn't know what the taste would be like. Like, you know how something could be salty, or would it be sugar, or would it be, what is that type of taste that you have to acquire? Because when you start talking about different minerals or, algae and different things that we're supposed to be consuming, so that'd be my first thing, like what it tastes like. Am I going to have to, because like some things that I'm eating now, I really had to acquire, like asparagus? Yeah.
Well, here's the thing with that. Our taste buds, like what we were taught about our taste buds is not.
Don't eat no ramen noodles.
So we were taught when we were younger that, you have 4 groups, and then somewhere along umami came in and they said, oh, you got 5 groups, and this in this part of the tongue and that part of the tongue. I learned way before I even got into textbooks that had to be wrong. Right? Anybody that's ever caught a cold, immediately that whole story about taste buds is incorrect, because the moment your nose gets stopped up, you can't taste anything. So if taste was about your tongue strictly, your nose being stopped up wouldn't have anything to do with it. But the smell goes a long way in terms of taste. It's aromaticity, and that goes into aromatic amino acids. And it's actually the aromatic amino acids that compose the pigments in the algae that also compose the pigments in you. So when we talk about the pigments in your eye for your eye health, the neuromelanin, when we talk about your nerves, when we're talking about your circulatory system and melanopsin and your T3, T4 levels and iodopsin, when we're talking about all of those things, those are all things that are relative to amino or aromatic amino acids, and then a lot of mental health issues, aromatic amino acids, and how our body processes them. Now, Caribbean algae does not have the same concentration of iodine as cold water algae. So over the years, people were like, okay, well, you need to get the sea vegetables or the sea moss or the algae in for iodine, but all algae are not created equal. You need the cold water, which is Chondrus crispus, which is your bladderwrack, which is your kelp. Those types of algae are particularly high in iodine, and some other things that you don't have in the cold. It's a totally different type of algae because of where they grow, the environment. But like I said, we consume them oatmeal, rice, soup, sauce. And mind you, it's not like you emptying the whole jar in there. You know what I'm saying? So you put you a spoon or two and then you add your other ingredients. So once you start playing around with it, like our oatmeal in the morning tastes sweet. You can't really taste the sea moss that's in there because we put some bananas in there and we put some other this and that and the other, maybe some blueberries. So you don't really notice it in there. If somebody, like if I was to make it for you, you wouldn't really.
So can you make me some then?
And you gotta come get it. You gotta come get it. You know what I'm saying? But if
I ain't gonna make it right.
Well, if y'all join the Patreon, you know what I'm saying? Like we're gonna be going through the recipes and going through all that stuff over the next,
And Patreon.com is the website / Dr. Inky. But Patreon.com is also where they can go to learn about the fast, to learn about the upcoming classes that you have offering on Saturdays. Am I correct?
15 years worth of classes.
Yes.
Wow.
Years worth of classes are already there, not to mention the upcoming classes are constantly being loaded and updated. But then we also use it in water. So it's a real amazing, because that's one of the things that I put in my mind in the formulation process when I was coming up with this new designer gel was workout people. Right? Because a lot of us don't really understand that your organs are muscles, your glands are muscles. I mean, for the most part, like you got the lungs, which are kind of more soft tissue and not muscles, but they rely on the diaphragm, which is muscle. So mostly but we don't realize that even a lot of us that sweat, we go to the gym to work up a sweat. We don't realize that when we sweat, we losing vitamins, we lose minerals, we lose a protein, we lose a whole, and then we drink water. And I'm like, that's not it. That's not gonna put back. That doesn't put back what you just lost, especially people that like to go to the sauna or you like to get in the jacuzzi.
Yeah.
That's why they got warning signs on the sauna and the jacuzzi not to be in there past 5 minutes or 10 minutes, because you're losing too many nutrients, and electrolytes don't cover it, especially electrolytes mixed with artificial colors. Oh my God, that is such a big hustle. Gatorade, Powerade, all of them aids are trash. They are trash. You got red number 40 and blue number 1 and yellow number 5 and yellow number 6. All of those things that cause DNA mutations are in those drinks. So it doesn't even make sense to me. Somebody should be arrested for giving those to children. Like it literally a lot, and that's where I'm at. That's going to be like when we have the town hall meeting, America's Future, on with tuconservative.com. People can register for that. But when we have that conversation, that's what I'm going to be talking about, is the self-inflicted mental illness where we're taking these babies. First of all, a lot of these babies, like right now, for Spanish and Black folks, particularly Black folks, we're aborting more babies than we're having. Then it really comes down to individual, because although we could point to an overall plan and this, that, and the other, people have their own mind. So it comes to education and diet, and it comes to parenting. You know what I'm saying? Like, what did your parents teach you? I got 10 children, and I would die before I let one miss a meal. But that's how I was raised. So when we dealing with these ladies that's throwing their babies in the garbage, or these guys that don't take care of their kids, or whatever the case may be, they was raised like that. That was how they was raised. You know what I'm saying? So we're going to be talking a lot about this, because you got the babies that's are being born. A lot of them are C-section. When you come out C-section, your immune system already impaired. It's a wrap. All right. Your immune system's already impaired, because a large portion of the baby's immune system comes from the mom's vaginal walls. So your vaginal walls, your microbiome, coat that baby from the outside, and those bacteria work their way in through the baby's body, and that forms the baby's microbiome. C-section babies coming out with no microbiome. They're getting populated by whatever bacteria floating around in the air in the hospital. Disgusting. Then a high percentage of them kids don't go to the breast because the breast can almost help reverse some of the damage from the C-section.
I was just about to tell you.
They go to the powder.
All my children were C-section. All of my kids. However, I breastfed all my kids until they were like 1 and was ready to get on regular milk. Yeah. And my kids, because I was, when you said the immune thing, I was like, wait a minute, because my kids never had any issues with immunity. But when you said about the breastfeeding, I was like, oh, it makes sense now, because I was a faithful breastfeeder. Faithful with all of my children, with all 4 of my kids.
I think Andre's leaving. Andre, thank you so much, man. You gave a lot of input today.
Hey,
I really have enjoyed you, and I hope to see more of you with our different platforms. We'll be back tomorrow after today. Well, actually, we'll be back this afternoon at 6 if you want to log back in. So.
But so
on the rise.
So then they compound the issue by having C-section babies and then giving them powder, because a lot of times moms that might want to breastfeed, they can't even lactate anymore. So they trying to produce milk. They can't produce milk. They're putting the pump on there. The pump is not pulling nothing out. Leave the pump on too long, it's blood. It gets crazy. They can't make milk. So these are all things we got to deal with, because now without the vaginal birth, without the actual breast milk, guess what happens? The child has an incomplete brain development. So now your child and my child got to sit next to a kid in 5th grade whose brain might be developed only to like a 1st grade conceptual level. These are become adults that have a 9 or 12-year-old conceptual framework. And then when we look at the statistics across the country, the average adult, you compound that with the fact that the average adult has a 6th grade reading level.
So you telling me when I meet a guy, I need to ask you, was you born C-section or vaginal? Because if they was born C-section, then they brain, and if they was not breastfed, that's why they on that immature level?
There's a lot of things that you can look at immediately. Just start talking to them. You know what I'm saying? Right. Like if you start talking to them, you don't have higher brain function. So chances are they're going to be stuck right there in how much money they make, how much money you make, what y'all can get to eat, and how fast y'all can have sex. If the conversation doesn't go past food, sex, or shelter, then you know that there's not really anything else there.
And let me ask you a question, Dr. Inky. You had a question that came up here. I don't know if you saw it, because I want to make sure that their questions are being addressed. I see your shirt.
I have diabetes, but for the last 2 months, I've got perfect numbers. Is that something I can take naturally than all these pills they're giving me?
Listen, that is what we do. And I offer unlimited consultation and coaching when you join up to the Patreon. So we will walk you through your whole process. Having good numbers is the beginning, but there's a lot more to it. You know, first things first, you want to obviously have good numbers. But if your good numbers are based on drugs, they're not really good numbers. The numbers are only good because the drugs are suppressing your system.
Covering it up, yeah.
The idea is use those training wheels, right? Use the medication as training wheels, but then start to change the habits. I would definitely suggest you participate in the fast with us starting today, but use those medications as training wheels, and then start learning the other things that you need to learn to be able to take the training wheels off in time. You know, so a lot of times people get used to the numbers and think the numbers mean something. It's not. The numbers tell you what's going on with your biochemistry. Now, once you have diabetes, type 1, type 2, or whatever, over the time, you're going to have damage due to the excess glucose. So completely healing from diabetes means you also have healed all those tissues, organs, glands, particularly the pancreas and the surrounding organs as well. So the good numbers is a start, but then we want to make sure that we create, you know, patterns and practices that keep them that way, and then eventually resensitize the body to processing and metabolizing its own glucose by itself. You know what I'm saying? And we've been able to, you know, do some insane miracle work, but it really takes time for the body to go from being diabetic to completely training wheels off, A1C numbers and sugar numbers, something that you no longer need to check. You know what I'm saying? You don't have to worry. They're going to be what they're going to be, like clockwork, almost like when you were a teenager. Your body just kind of has a gravitate. In fact, we're going to talk about a little bit more of that when we go through the 4 little pieces that we're going to incorporate into the fast. So that's a dope question.
Okay, now you can go ahead and read that. Chrissy is ready to share the screen because I'm from a different monitor today. I'm not able to do it, whatever it was that you needed her to share.
Oh, okay. Well, we'll come back. Yeah, we'll come back to the sharing thing. So that, because I don't want to, you know, because that was kind of with the other conversation. And
okay.
So, but go right here to patreon.com/Dr. Inky, become a member, and then, you know, we can go personal. Like I said, I do unlimited coaching, unlimited consultations with everybody who's a Patreon member. So we can apply this information and get the results that we want to get.
Is the diet on the patreon.com? I mean, not the diet, is the fast on patreon.com?
Everything. Everything.
Y'all go to patreon.com, become a member. You will be better for it. Your health, not only weight loss, but your health as a whole will be better. With that, I have to go. I'm signing off. I love you guys. Stay strong. I'm strong. You strong. He's strong, but she's so strong. I love you guys. Thank you, Dr. Inky. As always, I love listening to you. All right, lunchtime with Anna. I love you more. I'll both. Make sure y'all go to patreon.com to sign up, because I am finna sign up and I'm finna participate in the fast. So I want you guys to do the same. Let's compare and let's see who can do the best. All right, y'all. You know I got turned into a competition.
Me too. I'm especially interested in the CMOS because I make my own.
I know. How you make it?
I'm interested.
How you
well, if I tell you my secret, then I'm telling everybody. I don't tell them. I'll tell you off air.
Well, look, I want some because I want to try.
You see, he didn't even give his whole secret. He was like, "Well, you do," and then a couple of other things. Y'all ain't listening.
Part of the mental illness that we suffer from is we like to rob our own. We like to steal from our own. You know what I'm saying?
I ain't gonna steal from y'all.
I got,
but I want to.
That
I want to learn.
Platform is created by remixing my information and trying to, you know, so it gets crazy.
All right, so I'm gonna see that CMOS in my mailbox.
Yeah, call me and I'll talk to you about the CMOS.
I see. Y'all know we don't have them ingredients down here, so y'all send them to me so I can go ahead and make my CMOS and I get fine.
All right, mommy. We'll see you.
Yep. So, yeah, we going in. People used to clicking out at one, so everybody's like, but this is good that we have the space and the time to really, and it's drying up outside. I don't know if you noticed earlier, but my lights was like going in and out.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, hopefully now that the rain stopped. Between the rain and the squirrels, they always mess with our transformer. Like I was literally mad that I couldn't record a crow having a fight with a squirrel that started in the pine tree in my backyard, and then somehow it spilled out onto the wires, and they was rumbling. And the only thing I could think of was, hopefully this doesn't black out the neighborhood. You know what I'm saying? But
yeah,
but it does sometimes though. Like, and I'm sitting there watching, like, these are the culprits.
Are you saying them squirrels are gangster up there?
Yeah. Cussing out the electric people and cussing out nature, and it'd be them. It'd be the squirrels.
Hey, James.
Have to be. But
that's part of my family. Huge hello to you, James. Nice to hear from you.
Very nice extended. But we're gonna go now. Like I was saying at the top, we normally have food lists that you don't eat, foods that you're supposed to eat and blah, blah, blah. But this 40-day fast is going to be a lot easier because
Okay.
I learned a lot about how the body
Tricks.
works.
Okay.
Yes. You know what I'm saying? And only tricks because they're not popular knowledge, right? So the first
Absolutely.
thing up here is vitamin D and vitamin K,
Okay.
right? So I want to encourage everybody to get high dose vitamin D and high dose vitamin K, right? Now,
Does it matter in what form?
you want to get vitamin D3 and probably vitamin K2.
Okay.
Yeah,
What I'm saying is like capsule, liquid. What do you prefer?
um
Doesn't
get
matter.
it. Yeah, to your preference. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
Obviously, I'm gonna go if you can find like a capsule is better than a chalk. And then a liquid may be better than a powder, you know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
But I prefer to go vegan vitamin D3 as best as you can get it, you know, and then K2 as best as you can get it to budget and affordability and all that kind of stuff. But the main thing is the amount. So normally vitamin D traditionally comes in a 400 IU recommendation. Unfortunately, that is a unrealistically low number, and your body doesn't really recognize it to make the threshold switch that you need to make.
Mhm.
Vitamin K, they normally recommend between 90 and 120 micrograms. But
Mhm.
again, the same thing. It doesn't really put you in the threshold of benefit where you make because your body has different modes, right? And so the two major modes that most of us, like, we never heard of this, but we need to know about this. You have a summer body and you have a winter body.
You do.
Your
That's true.
brain controls that switch. So
Mhm.
based on what the brain senses is going on in your environment, your brain switches to these different types of modes. And so basically, your winter mode is almost the human form of hibernation,
Mhm.
where your body is trying to pick up as much fat around the waist and organs as possible. Right. So that becomes the belly fat that even people in the gym that are working out can't get rid of below the belly button. And that's because your body is actively fighting against you to try to store that up because your body thinks that you're living in a everlasting wintertime. So a lot of
Mhm.
us don't know that we may not have felt summer in our bones, in our body in 5, 10, or 20 years or more. Some of our kids are growing up without ever even experiencing it. And this is why now we have type 2 diabetes sneaking into children. We have obesity sneaking into children. We have children losing their eyesight in grade school from fatness and excess blood sugar because of these things. So vitamin D and vitamin K are two things that are the main two things actually that your body uses to switch from packing on sugar and fat to shedding sugars and fats all by itself, because that's your summertime mode. When your body's in summertime mode, your body's looking to pack on muscle and it's looking to use fat as fuel, shedding the sugars and shedding the fats and the acids associated with them. So that is the first like key to the 40-day fast. We want to go 40 days, making sure we have high levels. So when you go buy your vitamin D3, you want to get the 5,000 IU vitamin Ds, right? They come in 400, they come in 1,000, 2,000, and 5,000. You want to get the 5,000, right? And it's not that expensive. If you get them from my website, it might be $30 or something. If you get them from the store somewhere, they're probably $20-30. It's not that much. Same thing with the K. You can get the K, that's like 90 IUs, which is a microgram, or 120 IUs for men. Like they break K down into men versus women. So women, they want particularly to have 90, men 120, but both of those numbers are low. When you get the higher dose vitamin K, it's somewhere around 45,000, literally, micrograms, something crazy like that, like 45 milligrams. So completely different. Now, if you're taking medications, you have to know that the medications might have a conflict with vitamin D and vitamin K. So definitely check with your doctors and see what you can do, because the problem with some of these medications that have contradictions with vitamin D and vitamin K is not only do they have problems in metabolism, but they also eat through what you have in your stores. So, if you're taking a certain type of medication, that medication might make you vitamin K deficient. And then if you don't have a diet that's high in vitamin K to offset that, you're going to have a host of other problems that you might not even relate to that vitamin deficiency. You know what I'm saying? So high blood pressure, like so many people have high blood pressure that I just told them, vitamin K, magnesium, and then, voila, it's totally different the next day, because you can get high blood pressure from calcium leaking from the bones out into the soft tissues. And that's chronic. That's like a chronic vitamin K, But so anyway, vitamin D, vitamin K, right? That's the first thing. The second thing is everybody is going to practice the 13 and 7 rule, right? The 13 and 7 rule. What is the 13 and the 7 rule? The 13 is we give our body 13 hours of rest from any food of any kind every night without fail. So what does that mean? That means, say you eat dinner at 7 o'clock. You can't start eating again the next morning till 8. If you eat your dinner at 8 p.m. Now, some people like this combination. I could do the 13-hour rule, Doc, if I eat my dinner at 8, because then I usually won't eat again breakfast until 9 or 10 anyway, so I don't really feel it. Perfect. The reason why we need your body to have a 13-hour break between your dinner and your breakfast or your first meal of the day is because you can't get rid of fat, right? Period. Okay, now listen to what I'm telling y'all about this, because this doesn't matter what else you heard from anywhere else. This is going to be the problem. This is like the key problem in the matrix that people can't get around. You cannot get rid of fat until you get rid of the excess blood sugar. Period. You cannot get rid of the excess blood sugar until you get rid of all the stored up glycogen inside the muscles and in the liver. So the 13-hour rule allows you to clean up, allows your body to use up all of the blood sugars that's there, right? Whether your muscles metabolize it, whether your brain uses it for fuel, or whether you're in a diabetic state and you urinate it out, you pee it out. Either way, within that 13 hours break time, your body's going to be able to get rid of all of those sugars and then start to open up the fat cells, right? Because that's the key. We want to open the fat cells so we can release that stuff into the bloodstream. Once we release the sugar, because that's all that's inside a fat cell. Fat is stored sugar. Release those sugars into the bloodstream. Now you can burn them off, right? And that brings us to number 3 and number 4. These are how we're going to be burning stuff off. Yeah, I might not be able to see number 4. Number 4 says 60 and 60. I'm gonna put that right here, just right, so y'all can see that better, right? Then, okay, boom. So number 1, vitamin D, vitamin K. Number 2 is the 13 and 7 rule. Number 3 is called morning light. And number 4 is 60 and 60. Now, morning light is a isometric exercise. It's an isometric exercise. And I know folks are like, wait a minute, exercises? I thought you said no workouts. Well, I had to roll with the punches, people. I had to roll with the punches. What do you mean roll with the punches? Let me tell you what I mean by roll with the punches. When I started doing these little blood circulation things for myself, right? A single dad, 5 little children. I'm trying to manage the online, the research, fighting illnesses, people calling me with cancer, this, that, and the other. I even have stalkers. Like literally, there's a lady that calls me over 100 times a day from fake numbers. She sends me pictures with guns in her mouth, threatening to kill herself. All kinds of crazy, foolish, mad maniac. So I got all this stuff I got to deal with and still have to try to, be Dr. Inky at the same time. So I created these little things for circulation. Like people know that I do online classes, and sometimes they're 6 hours, 8 hours, 11-hour classes. And what I develop is little exercises to keep my blood flowing. And so that doesn't, so whether it's toe raises or some of the other unique ones we design, we only spend 60 seconds on it. 60 seconds of exercise in 60 minutes. And so when I started telling people, they was like, oh, well, that's not a workout. That's not an exercise, because an exercise, you have to do 3 sets of this and 15 to 30 minutes and blah, blah, blah. Anything less than 5 minutes is not even a real workout. So I was like, okay, well, obviously then I'm not working out. So that's kind of where that came from. These were really just things for me to be able to do while grocery shopping, waiting in the line to pay for my groceries, or online, or teaching homeschool with the children, or sitting in the, formulating herbs and putting stuff together. That's where these came about, the 60 and 60 in the morning light. So the morning light is basically an isometric where you hold a squat. So you're just going to attempt to hold you a squat for 60 seconds. And that is going to start at the feet, and it's going to work its way all the way up through the 29 muscles that you have in your feet that are very vulnerable, all the way up through the calf, the quads, the hams, the glutes, which are the largest muscles in the body, into your lower back and your abdomen and your core. And so that's going to, again, help the 13-hour rule. And I know you're like, but what is that 7 doing there? The 7 is the other part to the 13-hour rule. You only have a 7-hour window to eat. So you're not eating all day, right? So you got 2 things. You got a 13-hour break, not eating, and then you have a 7-hour window to get all your eating in. So you can't be all over the place. Meaning, if that first meal is at 10, well, then you done locked yourself into having dinner at 5. So, try to program your thing out accordingly, because again, our time not eating is probably more important than our actual time eating, meaning the spaces, right? So, your normal insulin and glucose cascade lasts like 4 or 5 hours. So if we eat every 2 to 3 hours, we're actually increasing the circulating insulin and glucose with every meal. We never give it a chance to dissipate. And That is the secret link between diabetes and cancer. Because diabetes, when you have that high level of insulin, guess what happens? Your body also wants to do what? Create more insulin receptors. And once you get so many insulin receptors on a cell, that cell has a higher propensity to become a cancer cell, because cancer cells, that's like the beginning stages. That's like training a cell to become cancerous, because cancer cells have about 10 times the amount of insulin receptors as regular cells do. Like, that's a caveat that most people don't discuss, but it's highly important and relative. So by using these spacing rules, we get rid of those things. And then the morning light, obviously it's in the morning. So we do this 60-second routine, and most of us, your body going to be shaking, your knees going to be going like this at 15 to 20 seconds. You know what I'm saying? So just stand up, shake it off, go back down, and just try to get you a whole 30 seconds. But that's going to make sure that you have the internal hygiene. So that's one of the things that we talk about with this whole process is internal hygiene. People clean their bathroom more than they clean their inside of their body. People brush their teeth and forget about cleaning their gut. You know what I'm saying? Like, this is so it's a form of internal hygiene. Diabetes causes ED. If so, can you fix the ED before cleaning up your diabetes? No. And using any of those pills to help is dangerous. So, real quick, what happens is your circulatory system has like its internal filtration system. And that's kind of where capillaries play a key role. So when you get to the more fragile tissues, especially like your penis and your vagina, because women are dealing with impotence more than men, but because a woman's impotence doesn't stop sex, it's something that doesn't get discussed, where a man's impotence is going to stop the act of sex. You know what I'm saying? If your woman is impotent, most times she's going to blame it on you. She's going to say, oh, well, you ain't doing a good job. We need to go longer. You need to be stronger. You're not making me come. I'm not getting there. Really, it's her problem, because she's not.
Dr. Inky, just say it how it is.
Yeah, it's kind of, but this is it. So what happens is, if you don't get a female
I'm kidding.
no, this is a fact though. If you don't get the female hard on, you don't get an orgasm. So, that's a big thing. We got to make sure the females deal with the impotence issues too. But back to the fellas. So the capillaries will prevent the sugars and some of the other toxic material from getting into your penis or your testicles, because it's dangerous. Now, when we take the Viagra, the Cialis, or the herbal, circulation boosters, that opens up, because it's really just vasodilation. You know what I'm saying? A couple vasodilators mixed with a little nitric oxide, boom, open up the circulation. And now you got blood flow to your penis. It's hard, but over years, because you're pushing those sugars and things into the penis, the tissues in the penis die. And then there'll be a point within 3 to 5 years that you won't be able to get a hard-on period, no matter what drugs or herbs you take. And then that is what's created now the penis implant market, where a lot of men have fake penises. So a lot of the men that even the guys you're hanging out with, if we got 20 guys in the chat, probably 5 of these guys right now in the chat have a penis implant, or they're on their way to getting a penis implant because they're using all these fake things to get their penis to work. You know what I'm saying? I don't support none of them. And trust me, if there's nothing else I know, I have 10 children. So trust me, I know how to do that. If all else fails, I'm good at that. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, none of those things are good for your penis health. And that's why and even in the porno business, it's crazy, because a lot of the guys that's in the porn business, they got fake pipes, they got penis implants. So It's not something that you could see. So don't think, ladies, that like you might be with a man for 5 or 10 years that has a fake penis, and you won't know, because unless he tell you, you're not gonna know. Period. The penis implant is on the inside, and the remote is hidden inside the testicles, so you don't get to see the mechanism. You know what I'm saying? All you got to know is he may touch a space on his testicles, and you probably won't even notice it. But now, after watching this, you might be looking at your man like you might be typically that's the sensitive, like nobody plays with a guy's testicles. You know what I'm saying? It's like, hey, you are, you're not like in there searching for a button. You know what I'm saying? But that's how they're set up. The button is inside the testicle. They press the button, bam, they kind of salute, and then the program is as is normal. You know what I'm saying? In fact, some of ladies' better experiences might come from guys with fake programs, because yeah, they can kind of go forever. Like they can go for a week straight. You know what I'm saying? As long as their back and their mind can stay awake, they can keep on going. But anyway, so but that's where we're at. Like, the men are losing their penises. The women's vaginas don't come anymore. They can't get pregnant. They get an IVF babies, test tube babies. The women right now, they can't breastfeed. So we have a nationwide breast powder, powdered breast milk, baby formula shortage. But the shortage only highlights the inability of women to produce milk, because you don't even think about a baby formula shortage, and you just go right to the, like how it's designed. Anyway, so yeah. So bottom line, you don't want to do the fake stuff. You want to, don't flash that again. You want to do the real stuff and actually put your body, your body's actual processes together and clean out the blood for real long term, and then all of that stuff will just come back automatically. You know what I'm saying? But the warning signs have been there. You know what I'm saying? When you wake up in the morning, if you don't have a heart on, then that means you're already sick. You know what I'm saying? But if you fat, if you're overweight, you're sick. That's just know that if you overweight, you got something going on. There is no such thing as I'm overweight, but I'm healthy. Like, people say that to me all the time. Well, I just got to lose a little pounds, and nope, you got undiagnosed shit going on with you that you don't know that's going on. We think that way because we're not diagnosed with something that we healthy, and that is far from the truth. But anyway, so the morning light.
Just say it how it is.
13.
I think you really be hurting some people's feelings, Dr. Inky.
Listen, when I was 260 pounds, I had to start with hurting my own feelings, because so many people were propping me up, especially my moms. My mother, and at my time, my girlfriend, were the worst criminals. Like, they should have been.
They were enabling.
Arrested. What? Every little inch that I put on my waist, I didn't get ostracized. I didn't get critiqued. I didn't get, hey, you look like you need some. What I got was my mom like, man, look at my son. He eating good. That boy must be getting that money somewhere. Hey, what you got? You got a girl. She must be cooking good. She must be getting that money, boy. You getting big. You. And we celebrate people in the community getting fat.
Yeah, that's
and
true.
Then the moment when we see somebody starting to lose weight, we start up all kinds of scandalous shit and go, "Ooh, you seen such and such? Man, you seen all that weight they lost? Man, I wonder if they had
probably got ninja.
I wonder if they on drugs. I wonder if they got the monster. I wonder if they got this disease. I wonder, like, like, wait a minute."
Well, I used to be really skinny till I was about 30. I'm telling my age, about 38 or so. Then my thyroid is what happened. And I was always no more than 113 pounds my whole entire life. And people would always think I was sick or something. And it's like, no, I just don't gain weight. I don't know.
What about zinc, tyrosine, selenium, and iodine therapy? Have you done those 4?
So I have selenium downstairs. And I just started the iodine. I think I've mentioned to you before, I'm a cancer survivor. So I actually did used to intake iodine, and it does wonders for your body. People have no idea, like, what this just iodine does in your body. What a difference. Um, so I've been implementing all of this since you started coming on my platform,
Yeah.
because I'm
Well,
like, you know what, Anna, you
here's
need
the
to
other
get your
pieces.
health on.
Yeah.
Huh?
Well, here's the other pieces to it, because your body won't be able to synthesize the T3, T4, even
Mhm.
if you add in extra iodine,
Mhm.
without the selenium, the zinc, and the tyrosine. Remember
Oh, and
earlier,
I'm taking zinc too. I am not taking tyrosine. Where do I find that?
that I'm about to tell you. Remember earlier when I was saying the aromatic amino acids?
Mhm.
Bang. That is like the
Mm.
main one. And
Okay.
these aromatic amino acids, again, are part of your pigment system. So this is why we focus on a diet of pigment and fiber. Pigment and fiber. Don't worry about it, Derek. You Gucci. The video will be up, so when you come back, you'll be able to watch it later. But we
Absolutely.
almost finished anyway. We about to tap out at 2:00. We out of here. So 15 more minutes, and then we can go. But so if y'all got any questions, y'all might want to type that in right now while we got another
Yeah,
few.
type all y'all's questions that you guys have, or if
Yeah,
you guys need to reach out to him or
but
whatever.
you need higher levels, because what happens is your body, everything works in thresholds. So if you're having a minimum level of this key nutrient, it's only going to go to the vital functions, and it's not going to go to some of the other places that need it as well. So you just got to make sure you're getting enough tyrosine, enough selenium and zinc, so that your
Mhm.
body can use the iodine to make the T3, the T4, and the other stuff. And like I was saying, the pigment is crucial in the diet. So a lot of times people get scared of carbohydrates, and they forget carbohydrates is the pigment food.
Mhm.
Carbohydrates is the fiber food. So you can't run away from the carbohydrates. You have to avoid processed carbohydrates, because processed carbohydrates are carbohydrates that have the pigment and the fiber removed.
So I'm glad that you're mentioning that, because one of the things I did since I actually got the diagnosis of my thyroid, because we couldn't figure out what it was, like it was like almost overnight I would gain like 15 pounds, and I would be like, I don't know how.
Yeah,
I
your
don't eat.
thyroid go from running to you
Yes, yes,
swollen.
there you go. And like my head was banging.
Wait, let me
I
stop.
just felt like I was going to have a heart attack. It was the weirdest feeling.
Let me add this piece in while you right there in your story. One of the things that I discovered in my article was that diabetes was not controlled by insulin. It's controlled by melanin concentrating hormone in your brain.
Mhm.
And the connection between your metabolism and your thyroid is actually in your neurochemistry. So a lot of times we think that your thyroid somehow has this direct relationship with your mitochondria. And so the
Mhm.
thyroid is controlling the mitochondria directly, but there's a caveat. The T3 and T4 regulate the neurochemistry and
Mhm.
stimulate either melanin stimulating hormone or melanin concentrating hormone. And those two hormones are what actually control your eating, your sugar storage, and blah, 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 blah. So the thyroid absolutely affects your neurochemistry.
Yes, it does.
So that's where the headache came in. But go ahead, my bad.
No, you're right, because let me tell you, I was foggy. I
Yeah.
was like, what? You would tell me something, you'd be like, Anna, I told you. I'm like, I don't remember, and it was one of these things, like, seriously, I don't remember. And I still deal with it from time to time. But what I've been doing is I'm like, no, I got to beat this. But I think the crucial mistake that I'm doing is that since last September, or I think it was October when I got the diagnosis, I actually just pretty much took all carbs out of my system, because I was 200 pounds. I don't want to be 200 pounds. I was never 200 pounds. That's too big for me. it is this weight, and I'm still feel like I need to lose 30 more pounds, and I'm gonna get there.
Well, let me tell you, here's a trick.
Mm-hmm.
People that think because they may be listening to some online folks or some doctors or whatever,
Mm-hmm.
that you took the carbs out,
Mm-hmm.
take the carbs out. The only thing you actually took out, again, was pigment and fiber. Because when you eat fat, fat turns into what inside your body? Sugar.
Mm-hmm.
When you eat protein, protein inside your body turns into sugar.
Mm-hmm.
So the idea from the old school was blood sugar being too high. The easy solution is to take out the carbohydrate because the carbohydrate is primarily sugar. But it's not sugar that's the problem. It's blood sugar that's the problem. And so your protein, which most people never associate with blood sugar, but protein, almost all of it becomes sulfuric acid, ammonia, and sugar because most of us don't exercise, which means that you don't have a high internal requirement for protein. So because you don't exercise, your body only needs, 5 or 10 grams of protein to replace whatever it needs to replace. And you thinking you need protein. So you're having chicken breast and steak and all this foolishness. All that extra protein is being converted into ammonia, sulfuric acid, and sugar. And this is the relationship to a lot of folks with excess blood sugar then having kidney problems, because the kidney problems come in trying to filter all that sugar, all the insulin, the sulfuric acid, and the ammonia. So that's another reason why also not only is kidney problems prevalent, but then also you have the gout. You know what I'm saying? From ammonia crystals lodging in the joints and some of that stuff going on. So even your joint health is tied to your excess sugar levels in the blood.
Wow.
Yeah. So the whole idea is not necessarily to get rid of carbs. It's to get rid of processed carbohydrates. So there's a huge difference between having a cup of rice and a tangerine. That's completely different. There's a huge difference between having an order of French fries and a cup of kale. But kale is carbohydrates. A tangerine is a carbohydrate. A salad is a bowl of carbohydrates. So that's why we got to make the distinction between the pigment and fiber-based carbohydrates from nature versus the starches and the white rices and some of those other things, the simple processed and ultra processed carbohydrates that don't have the fiber and the pigment. Because a lot of times the fiber, the pigment, and then the nutrients locked in there, like the phosphorus, will help metabolize what would become wasted in terms of blood sugar. You know what I'm saying?
Well, see, and that's what I did, Dr. Inky. So I'm just doing salads.
Beautiful.
All kinds of salads, all kinds of fruits.
So that's all carbs. So you're eating all carbs.
Yeah, I just took out, when I think of carbs, I think of
cake.
I'm Boricua. My arroz con gandules, my arroz con maíz, my rice and beans, arroz con habichuela. I took all of that out of my diet.
We want the gandules back.
Okay.
We want those back, right? Our peas, our lentils, and those guys. We want all them back. The white rice and the fake white rice, which is the yellow rice because it's white, but there's yellow seasoning on it. Those can go. You could do black rice and brown rice.
Okay.
They're different. The black rice, the wild rice is better. But the brown rice is kind of like high protein.
Okay.
Or altogether better would be like going with quinoa instead. So you could do the quinoa and gandules.
That's corn, yummy.
Corn, you got to get rid of corn. Corn is the devil. So don't have any corn-based anything, corn flakes, corn, nothing. Don't have no corn, period.
Okay.
Corn has specific anti-nutrients that stops your body from processing the aromatic amino acids we was talking about.
Okay.
So that's going to stop your body from making T3 and T4.
Okay.
Liquor, any kind of alcohol, you can forget about it. Any drinks, just 2 shots, 1 shot on the weekends, once a month, twice a year. Whenever you have alcohol, it is going to stop your body from metabolizing these aromatic amino acids. So it's always.
I don't drink, so I'm not concerned.
But not just you. I mean, I'm talking to the audience.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But
well, I feel like you're talking to me.
Well,
I'm being a little selfish, y'all.
No. Me and you, but trust me, I'm talking to the audience most. You know what I'm saying? Because these are things that people deals with on a regular basis. And when I have conversations, a lot of times people waste consultation money with me because they'll hit me up and maybe their consultation is an hour. And it takes me almost 50 minutes to get to the bottom of like, oh, well, why didn't you tell me you smoke Newports and you drink all the time? Like you
that's what you were supposed to say from the beginning.
You got a gym membership. You go to the gym 3 times a week, and you're eating clean and all this goofy. But you're smoking the cigarettes, which block aromatic amino acid metabolism, and you drink 2-3 times a week. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes maybe more. You might smoke blunts, which means you're dealing with blunt wraps, and all of those things are going to block your body's ability to metabolize aromatic amino acids. And am I saying stop them forever? No, but I am saying stop them until you get the body that you want to live in. And then you can moderately bring those things back and kind of see how they affect
on occasion.
How you can roll them back in and be sociable, but not be killing yourself at the same time. You know,
be responsible. Yeah.
So you got to cut them things completely and then bring it back, because those things, specifically like cigarettes, are crazy because the nicotine has
it sucks everything out of your body, doesn't it?
Well, again, it stops your body from metabolizing key aromatic amino acids.
There you go.
That stops your NRF2 system, which defends the cells. It stops your thyroid hormone production. It stops your RNA, DNA synthesis, autophagy at night. You may not have a good serotonin to melatonin conversion. Like, there's a lot of subtle things that don't happen right away that are not really pronounced. And when you go to the hospital, if you get a blood test, none of these things are tested for. So you're not going to see this come up on the blood. You go to get it. Like, there's a lot of people that hit me up and go, yo, I just came back from the hospital. I got blood tests. I'm fine. But I got this problem, that problem, the other problem. Because you're not fine. That's what that means. You
go.
So we got to walk through what some.
And I think what it is, the medication hides things. Like, it kind of hides it for a little while. It kind of makes it dormant, right?
Well, here's the thing with medication. Medication is an isolated ingredient from a plant. 99% of your medications are plant. They come from plant extracts. And the difference between medication largely and plants is that plants have a slower action on the body, but it's more widespread. Whereas medicine, because it's an isolate, it'll go in and it'll affect one enzyme, a peptide, and stop a chain of actions. That chain of actions will cause other deficiencies. So although it will deal with the initial, like for instance, high blood pressure folks, right? They go and get statin drugs. So now if you take a statin drug, cool, it's going to lower your cholesterol level. But guess what? Once it lowers your cholesterol, it lowers your ability to produce vitamin D.
Mm-hmm.
Your sugar level goes up because of that. Then it destroys your ability to produce testosterone. So now cortisol levels is up, sugar levels are up, fat levels are up. So you got a host of other problems that popped up, but the cholesterol itself is down. The cholesterol is down. But then you also develop free radical issues because the acetyl-CoA conversion process is not fully there. It's not fully complete. So that one medication designed to fix that one problem successfully fixes that one problem, but it creates potentially 5
3
or
more
10
problems.
other.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
the medications, my thing is, I feel like the biggest problem is that doctors are not working with the naturopaths, because even if you're on medication, you still need the other things to help you to, because like the medication is like the problem fixer, but it doesn't address the root cause of the problem. It deals with the symptomology, where you need the other things to come in and deal with the root. So you want the symptom to go, the pain, you want to be able to live your life. You know, you don't want to be, you know, you don't want whatever to stop you from doing your day to day. But at the same token, you don't want the cure for the moment to become the problem for your long-term life. You know what I'm saying? So I think that there's a synergy that needs to happen between the holistic philosophies and the surgeries and some of those, and the, you know, the medicine and the surgery, the medicine, the pill and the knife needs to play nice with the grass and the trees. Like that's what I'm working on. So this event, July 10th, right? To remind everybody about the event. We didn't even talk about that, but the event July 10th that we want people to support and be a part of, and this is what really the cash apps and things like that go to. We're having, you know, it's a bipartisan effort. Democrats, Republicans, street folks, like everybody is coming together to rally around this event, because diabetes don't care if you're a Democrat. Nope. Diabetes don't care if you're Republican. Diabetes don't care if you're a Crip, if you're a Blood, if you shot somebody, if you got shot, if you're broke, if you're poor, if you're rap, if you're dance. It doesn't care about white, black, brown, yellow. Like, don't get twisted. Melanin is something that everybody has. So it's not a white or black thing, because everybody has a brain cell. If you have a brain cell and are filled with neuromelanin. That's what provides the function. That's kind of where all the problems come from anyway, but that's another longer conversation. So it's after 2. We're gonna let folks get out of here. I know their brain is pulsating right now, like with information. So hopefully you guys, you know, go through that information. You can start the fast today. You can start it tomorrow. You can start any day. You can start in pieces. You can say, you know what? I'm going to just start with the 13-hour rule. I'm going to get me some vitamin D, some vitamin K. I'm going to see how those go. When you're doing the morning light, you don't have to go all the way down in the squat. You can just go down a little bit and squat right there, depending on your knee health, your joint health. And over time, you're going to notice that you will have increased mobility in your ankles, your knees, and your hips, which are very important. We also do, like, for 60 seconds, we do our little hip rotations. As you get older, that becomes more important. You know what I'm saying? Especially if you want to have good sex, ladies. Okay, cut it out. Don't keep relying on being cute. You want to lay down on the bottom, and then, you know, the guy has to do all. Stop it. Fellas, don't embarrass yourself. You know, when you're on top, don't be laying down with your body on top of the lady. Be strong enough to hold yourself up on your own. It's disgusting. And, you know, see y'all next week.
So we will see you guys next week. He's always got something really good. Give him that website again. It's patreon.com/Dr.
Inky. And people that want to support the event and everything else that we got going on, you can Cash App $Minister Inky. Those Cash Apps go really far in terms of material. Students, we give away free books to people. In fact, if you guys want to get the Soul Craft Scroll, you can just email melaninversusdiabetes@gmail.com and say, where's the free book? We'll get you a free copy of the book, and that'll help you start to really, like, learn the basics of how your body works in terms of, you know, metabolizing, and then give some explanation as to why we focusing on isometrics as opposed to like weights or calisthenics and stuff like that.
Okay, and you guys can get a free book too. So do do it.
So
Dr. Inky.
dance,
I
you
know that's right.
you're giving away books. I want that to be enough because I can't really dance that good. So my children are starving.
um, Dr. Inky, I want you to know I really appreciate you coming every week on this platform. You're now part of our platform. Lunchtime with Anna is really looking to make changes, and I think this health and wellness is it was very much needed, and I'm just very glad that we were able to get you on the platform and all that you bring to the
See
table.
who's doing what next week. So I want to hear that people that did all 4 every day religiously, or at least 1 every day religiously, so we can see what the results are.
Absolutely, and you guys can watch this show again. Watch it over. I have it on YouTube. I'm not sure where Dr. Inky has it. I have it on Twitter as well as it's airing out of Facebook. And if you guys want a copy, I could send it to you. I can send it.
YouTube channel.
Oh, and on your YouTube?
No, yours. You got a
Oh, yeah. It's on my YouTube as well. Yes. Yeah. You guys can always find me on there, too. It's Lunchtime with Anna. I thought I had said it. Maybe I didn't. But you guys, please just watch it, learn, and if you have any questions, ask him. Or if you're like, I'm kind of shy, call me, ask me, I'll ask him. I have his number. I'm special. I'm kidding. So you guys, have a wonderful, wonderful week. Next week, we will see you back with Dr. Inky. Guys, I have a special guest because we were supposed to get together yesterday, but we were not able to. Rico Tracks will be in town, producer of Yo Gotti and other music. I want to see each and every one of you guys tune in. It's going to be good stuff. Y'all hear me? Good stuff. Again, please vote for Anna. If you guys need any help in Cordeal, let me know. Any of my assistants from Lunchtime with Anna and We See You Human Justice Organization, I will gladly help with whatever's needed, as well as my organization. With that being said, I will see you guys back at 6 p.m. I will be back here with Minister Jamie Eatman and Lady Antoinette and the rest of the panel for On the Rise. And I think today's is going to be really good, and I think it's something that I really need, and I really need in my life, because things have been in a whole big disarray in my life, but I'm going to get back here, and I'm going to be the same Anna that I've always been for each and every one of you guys. With that being said, I love each and every one of you guys. We will see you guys this afternoon, and then again tomorrow at 7 p.m. to do Bible study, Genesis chapter 50. God bless you guys. Ciao. Mwah.